Hey there, welcome to week 9. I am recording this video, and after you watch the video, I'm going to ask you to take a quick quiz just to make sure everything that I talk about is clicking. So this is the week where you hand in your rough draft of the background essay, you do peer review with a peer, and then you hand in the final draft. So it's a pretty focused week. When we look at the rough draft, I want to point out a few things. I've given you a link to that original essay writing PowerPoint. That would be a really good idea to watch it just to refresh yourself on how the essay is going to get put together. You're also going to submit this rough draft and final draft into Turnitin. Turnitin is embedded now in the assignment. So a couple days ago, you submitted the permission for that, and hopefully you watched the video of how it works. If you didn't, I've included the video here. So basically, Turnitin is a plagiarism detector that will comb through your paper and match it against a bazillion things on the internet as well as other student essays. So every time an essay gets checked by Turnitin, it goes into the database anonymously. So actually, your essay is going to go into the database anonymously. Turnitin is to help you. There's two ways to use it. Some professors use it just on their end to quote unquote catch students who plagiarize. I think that's kind of silly. I'm using it for you to double check your paraphrase, to make sure you've used quote marks where they're needed, etc. So you want to look at the report. You want to give yourself a little bit of time, maybe an hour before the essay is actually due. Run the report. It runs automatically. Take a look at it. So you're going to see like a little green thing that you have to click on. This will be in the video if you want to watch it. The report will give you a % of your essay that came from other sources. Now, certain things are going to count as plagiarism, like article titles. Obviously, I'm not counting those as plagiarism. What we're really worried about here is any time that the paraphrase isn't done correctly. Obviously, if you copy and pasted something from the internet and used it in your essay and tried to pass it off on your own, that's going to come up as well, but I don't think anybody's going to actually do that. So once you get the report, you might see some things that you need to fix, some paraphrase that you need to make more specific, etc. So go back and make those changes and then load up a newer version of your essay. So basically with Canvas, I can see all versions of your essay, but the most recent one that you upload is the one that comes in on top that I grade. Okay. I'm not going to look at these rough drafts very closely. You're going to do a pretty rigorous peer review thing. So I'm going to give them a general overview as a class and see if there are sort of some common errors that I want to make a short video about, which I'll send to you later in the week. I've also included Duran's background essay to kind of serve as a guide. And I want you, before you hand in the rough draft at all, before you even hand it into Turnitin, I want you to go through the checklist. The checklist is very specific, and if you go through your essay and everything checks out on the checklist, chances are it's pretty great. I've also just given you a reminder of the source sandwich, particularly if you're going to use multiple sources in the same paragraph. Then on Wednesday, you have peer review due. So the Canvas is going to automatically assign you a peer. What I'm going to have you do is a little bit different this time. It's a bit more rigorous. I'm going to have you download that checklist for the background essay that you used on your own. And I'm going to have you go through your peer's essay and answer yes or no to each item on the checklist to make sure everything's in great shape. Then I want you to save it on your device and then upload it as an attachment to your peer's essay. On the comment box on the right hand side, you're going to see a little paperclip icon, and that's where you want to upload any kind of an attachment. When you finish the peer review, shoot me a quick note in the text box so that I know that you did it and I can give you credit. Then finally, you'll have the final draft due on Friday, and who knows, we might know who's president in this time. So Election Day is Tuesday, November 3rd. As you probably know, it's going to take a while. We're probably not going to know that night because of all the mail-in ballots. I I don't know if we'll know by Friday. I surely hope so, because I'm on pins and needles. I don't know about you. Anyway, background is due on Friday. Likewise, it's going to run through Turnitin. This second run through should be pretty simple because hopefully you'll have fixed anything in the rough draft. And then when I grade it, and it will take me a week to get through 3 sections of background essays for all my 102s. But once you do get it graded back, you have 3 days to revise it for a higher grade. And I want to remind you, you have to address everything. So I don't let people pick and choose and just revise the easy stuff. If I see right away that not everything's been addressed, I'm not even going to consider a revision. So revisions have to be comprehensive, have to look at everything. If you're not sure on how to revise things, that's a great time to get in touch with me. Have a meeting on Zoom, text back and forth, whatever you need. And then finally, you'll have a Flipgrid check-in about joy. I want you to go back to that topic and just talk about what gave you joy. Then, as you can kind of imagine, week 10, we're going to dive into the literature review, which is where you give the different opinions. So that's a good segue. I want to show you, again, this PowerPoint on the 3 different essays. There was a lot of opinions in people's background outlines, which worried me a bit because the background outline should not have anything to do with answering your research question. So again, if my question is, should we abolish the Electoral College? My background essay is not going to have any opinions about that. Instead, it's a background. So it's going to explain what the Electoral College is, give the history of it, talk about how it works in modern elections. And then the next essay, the literature review, is where I present the different experts and how they feel about it. So this is just a general how it works, breaking it down into these 3 separate essays. This again is a reminder, background essay, it's what the reader needs to know before they understand the question, history, facts, etc. The literature review, the second essay, is different opinions on that arguable question. The argument essay is your opinion. You already did these outlines. The first outline is just thesis statement and topic sentences. Outline with sources is where you flesh that out by cutting and pasting your sources. Thesis statement, so this is important. The background thesis statement should be a general overview of the topic without bringing up the arguable question. For example, the Electoral College has been around since the Constitution was created and is the method by which the United States elects a president. The literature review, again, is where you present the different opinions. So, experts have different opinions about whether we should continue using the Electoral College. You'll notice I'm not putting my opinion in here in the literature review or the background. The argument is where I get to give my opinion. Finally, the argument essay thesis tells the reader your opinion without using I, so that's the trick. For example, the Electoral College should be abolished. That's my opinion. I didn't say I believe the Electoral College should be abolished because, first of all, we want to keep I out of academic essays, and second, it's actually more powerful and direct if you give an opinion without using I. And again, you're going to have a rough draft with peer review, a final draft, 3 days to revise, and a reminder that you need a references page for the background and the lit review. And then finally, you put all 3 essays together, and this talks through this whole thing. This is actually in the Welcome to Week 8, at the top of Week 8, if you want to look at this PowerPoint more carefully. All right, so now you're ready for the quiz. Good luck. Get in touch if you have questions. See ya.